Fear is a common emotional weapon. Fear of danger, loss, or the unknown prods people to give up liberties for perceived safety. Dictators and authoritarian regimes often stoke public fears to justify restrictions on rights. In relationships, abusers provoke irrational anxieties to dominate partners. When manipulated through fear, our threatened egos narrow our focus, impair judgment, and leave us suggestible to poor solutions. Demagogues deliberately amplify perceived external threats to consolidate power, quash dissent, and offer themselves as the singular solution. Unscrupulous salespeople also trigger fears of missing out, impending scarcity, or social rejection to pressure rushed purchases. Repeated fear-based messaging trains our neural circuitry over time, priming us for a fearful and reactionary mindset rather than grounded critical thinking. Flattery and charm lower defenses by fulfilling emotional needs for praise and connection. But excessive flattery should raise red flags, as manipulators may be trying to win trust for exploitation. Parasitic singles often love bomb prospects with praise and gifts to secure attachments quickly. Empty flattery is often a shallow ploy to lower our caution and make us more pliable for an ulterior motive down the line. Influence professionals like salespeople and politicians will use selective compliments to stroke egos and generate reciprocity and favor. Compliments also prime us to view the flatterer more positively in a halo effect. High flattery loads positive expectations on the manipulator, which people then unconsciously seek to fulfill through confirmation bias once the flattery concludes. Anger is used to justify aggression or numb empathy. Demagogues stir up public rage to build support for extreme policies fueled by emotion rather than facts. Online trolls provoke anger to make people act irrationally in response. Anger also pressures dissenters into conforming out of fear of backlash. Anger blinds us to nuance, higher principles, and long-term impacts as we lash out to express outrage in the moment. Self-righteous anger feels gratifyingly empowering, allowing manipulators to paint themselves as populist champions while attacking institutions and groups. Stoking anger creates drama that entertains and hooks attention. Anger feeds on itself once ignited, thus manipulators need only spark the initial flame, then let the fire consume through momentum. Guilt is leveraged to force compliance and obedience. Manipulative parents may use pointed disappointment to coerce children into specific choices. Cults amplify guilt and shame to prevent independent thought. Guilt trips pressure partners to concede in arguments. When repeatedly triggered, guilt undermines our sense of internal security and self-trust, leaving us quick to defer to external authorities for validation. Highly controlling groups use shame and humiliation intentionally to break down self-esteem as a way of promoting loyalty and conformity to the group's ideals. The uneasy feeling of guilt persistently lingers in our subconscious even after initial concession, keeping us psychologically tethered. Playing victim elicits unearned sympathy and leeway. Fake apologies masked as vulnerability often aim to shorten accountability. False martyrdom paints manipulators as long-suffering rather than taking responsibility. This emotional bait hooks targets into providing nurture and forgiveness. Feigned victimhood exploits our compassion, allowing sympathy for suffering to override questions of actual culpability. Factitious victimhood often manifests from underlying narcissism, where a manipulative person strategically employs victim status to control perceptions when convenient. Crocodile tears shed by the wolf in sheep's clothing manipulate empathy while concealing the truth.